Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with another Get Ready With Me, and today I thought I would do a palette bingo. So I recently rolled in a new palette for my product Level Up, and that will be my last video that went up, I believe. So if you haven't checked out my update for that yet, please do that before continuing on with this video, because you will get some spoilers on what I rolled in. But in that project, I ended up rolling in this palette right here, which is the Merry Christmas palette from Oden's I, which is basically an untouched palette in my collection. It was untouched, but since rolling that in, I have used two shades from this palette using a different look. But I haven't played around with this one at all really yet. And since I also rolled this one in as a new product Level Up palette, I also want to do 3 exclusive looks with this palette for my Big Fat Eyeshadow project. For next month. So I thought I would do one of those looks today, and I thought I would do a palette bingo. And there's 16 shades in here, so I'm going to go ahead and roll, I think, 5 shades. I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to see how the color story goes, but that is my plan for the video today. But before I jump into that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So I have my pretty random right here, and I put in 1 to 16. So we're going to go ahead and pick the first shade, which is number 13. So 13 is actually one of the 2 shades that I already used in this palette, which is the shade Hot Cocoa down here, but it's fine. I'm going to roll that one in anyway, and that is shade number 13. And there we have that first shade. So that is Hot Cocoa. For the second shade, we're going to go ahead and roll 15. Okay. Okay, I just looked down in the palette, and that is the shade Happy Ending, which is the second to last shade in the palette, and that is a black. It's going to be a very smoky, deep look. I just rolled in the 2 deepest shades in the palette, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and take that as a second shade. And that is actually a super pigmented creamy black, but that is 2 shades we're starting off with. The third shade is going to be 1, so that's the first shade in the palette, and I don't know what shade that is, but I believe it's a green. Yes, it's a green, and it's also our first shimmer, and that is this shade right here, which is like a green to orange duochrome or multichrome. It looks like it's the shade Elf Wish, and that is an absolute beautiful shade. I don't know if it looks very boring on my monitor, but it's a bright lime green to an orange shift. I think you can mainly see the orange shift on camera. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, I think there you can catch the shift. This is a tiny mirror, but I think, it's really hard to, there. I think maybe in the mirror there you can catch a little bit of the shift. Yeah, it's hard to show, but that is the shade Elf Wish. So we're gonna roll our 4th shade. So let's see what we get. 5. Okay, beautiful. 5 is one of the shades that I'm most excited about. That is the shade Snowman. Let me swatch it out to you and show you it in the palette. So that is the shade right there in the palette. It's a beautiful kind of light sparkly shade. You can see it there at the bottom. It's really, really pretty. I think this one will work nicely as an unicorn highlight in this look. It has loads of different black shifts to it. It's green, it's pink, it's like blue. Yeah, it's just super, super pretty. But yeah, that's the next shade, which is the 4th shade that I'm rolling in. We're gonna roll in our 5th shade, which is gonna be 11. And 11 is another shimmer, and it is this shade right here, which is like a pink to blue. Okay, some interesting shades. This is the shade Bless. Yeah, not sure how I'm going to incorporate this one, but let me swatch it out for you. And there we have that shade at the bottom. It's like a pink to blue. I feel like they're not showing up as vibrant on camera, at least on the monitor, but we'll see when I see the footage. But that is the last shade. And I was looking at the palette, and I think I'm going to stop with 5 shades, because I'm thinking like with the color story what shade I would want to roll in, and the only things that I would really feel like I would have a better color story rolling in is like a transition shade. But with what I'm planning, it would either have to be Gingerbread or Poisonette, so this one here or this one here, and the odds of rolling those 2 in aren't super high. So I think I'm going to stop with 5 shades. I think we have quite a random color story anyway, so that's going to be what I work in with. So let me go ahead and prep for the look. So I prime my eyes, and I'm going to go in with the first shade, which is going to be the black shade called Happy Ending, which is down here. I'm going to put that one on in my outer corners just to build up the depth. So on like a little pencil brush, and I'm just going to put that, like I said, right in the outer corner. This one is quite a powdery black, but it's very pigmented. Yeah, It's a nice black, just a bit powdery. But it's also not tending to give me any fallout from what I can see. At least not like after tapping off my brush. So I know I look crazy with this on now, but that is kind of where I want to position that black. And it's going to obviously get blended out with the red. Or like, that's what I'm going to do next, but I'm going to blend it out. But yeah, that is the first shade. So next I'm taking the shade Hot Cocoa, which is that deep red. And I'm placing that like in the crease and kind of starting blending that black out. But also like blending into my crease a little bit, because that is kind of the only shade that I have that can be a crease shade. So I'm kind of placing that down first, and then I'm going to blend out afterwards, but this is kind of the main placement that I want for the shade. So there we have that shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and start blending upwards a little bit. I'm just using the same brush and whatever I have on it. And we get something like that, which again, I know looks crazy for now, but I'm just going to start by building up that black again a little bit in the outer corner and just blending that into the red a little bit. I also feel like this eye isn't as deep as the other one, so I'm just going to deepen up the crease a tiny bit. And we get something like this, which at this point look kind of crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and continue blending this and also maybe tone it down with a skin toned color. So just taking a little bit of a again, skin toned color, just so I can start blending this. And I'm going to start within the corner where I want to blend it like down a little bit more. And I usually do this is the area that I want it most faded. So that's where I'm going to start. So I'm using this cream shade to blend it all out, as you can see. And hopefully that creates more of a blend. Just so I don't have that harsh edge. And that's kind of how I do with deeper shades if I don't have a transition shade. It's just kind of toning them down with a cream shade. But next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and deepen up the crease a little bit with that shade Hot Cocoa again, just so we don't lose that pigment right where I want it the darkest. And I think there we have a blend that I'm somewhat happy with. I still look crazy, but I'm going to go ahead and move into shimmers next. So I used the top two shades, and now we have all the fun sparkly shimmers left. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to those next. So I put some glitter glue on my eyes, and I'm going to go ahead and start going into the shimmer, and I'm going to go in with that bright lime green to peach shimmer all over my lid, which is called Elf Wish. So that's what I'm going to do next. And I just want to contrast between that pinkish red and that green, and I'm hoping I'm getting it. It's a shame that you can't see the green that much on camera because it's so vibrant in real life, but you can mainly see that orangey peach shift straight on, but it's still beautiful, but it's just so much more dimensional in real life. And there we have that shade Elf Wish, which is the third shade. Actually, I'm using them all in order, which is quite funny, but that is the next one. And actually, I'm pretty happy with the top lid right now. What I'm have left to do is the lower lash line and the inner corner. But I'm actually going to take a break, and I'm going to go ahead and do my base makeup and come back and do all of that afterwards. So let me finish that and I will be right back. So I'm going to start by putting this pink on my lower lash line. I really like this shade and I think it's going to contrast nicely with the top lid. And I'm also wetting it before I'm applying it, just so it will show up better. And there we have both eyes matching. So the last thing we're going to do is go in with the shade Snowman, which is the final shade, and I'm going to put that on my inner corners. So I'm going to do that now, just like that. And the same on the other eye. So I'm back and I finished up my makeup. I've applied some mascara and some lipstick, and this is the final look. So this is what I decided to do. Let me take my hair down too and just show you the finished look. So this is the look right here using this color story. What do you guys think? Would you have done something differently? How would you have used these 5 eyeshadows? Yeah, I'm really happy. I wanted like a contrasting kind of look on my lids. I didn't want to go with like the pink and the red together because I felt like that would be too contrasting with that and the green on the lower lash line. I wanted to do something a bit out there, but I feel like the green blends in really well with the red anyway on the lid because of that orange shift. And on camera again, you can't see too much of that orange shift. but I hope you can see a little bit better, at least than what I can see in the monitor. But again, that is the final look. So that is the final look, and this is where I'm going to wrap up the video. I really hope you enjoyed this get ready with me, and let me know what you would have done with these 5 shades. I'm really excited to continue playing around with this palette. Of course, it is my product level up level 4 palette. I'm going to have to hit 4 pans as well as use every single shade 4 times. But at least using some of the shades in this look gave me a little bit of a head start, but I'm excited to continue playing with it. But I hope you guys are having a lovely day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!